All right, now this is Lady C coming at you with another video presentation. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified when I upload new content. And while you're at it, hit that like button so we can get the algorithm rolling. Hey, this is Lady C. Welcome to Hidden Struggles. And in this upcoming episode, I'm just going to be talking a little bit about what's been going through my mind lately. I was talking to my brother-in-law today, and we were having this conversation about what makes us so frustrated about the Jehovah's Witnesses. So both of us, we lost our mothers. I lost my mom about 2 years ago. And of course, my husband, his brother, they all lost their mother about 2 years ago. And of course, both women used to be associated with Jehovah's Witnesses, and both of our mothers have siblings that are still practicing Jehovah's Witnesses. And we just kind of looked at our lives and we thought about how bad these people treated us when we left the religion. And how when our mothers died, those Jehovah's Witness siblings of our mothers just continued shunning us. Nothing to do with us. They didn't call to say, I'm so sorry that my sister passed. I mean, they just literally just had nothing to do with us. My sister, she kind of got on my nerves because she was like, you better call Aunt so-and-so. I'm not going to say her name. She knows who she is. So there's no need me calling her name. And she says, you better call her because she wants to hear from you. And I told my sister, I said, she don't want to talk to me, but my sister never became a Jehovah's Witness. She never got baptized. So that aunt, according to the Watchtower leadership, because my sister never became a Jehovah's Witness, she could still talk to her. Now, mind you, don't get me wrong. I just got an email from somebody the other day telling us on my XJW Critical Thinker channel that they were studying with Jehovah's Witnesses. And now that they're not studying with the witnesses, their sibling is kind of like shunning them now. But trust me, Jehovah's Witnesses, if they want to talk to you, they will find every way that they can break the rules to talk to you. And because my sister never became a Jehovah's Witness, my aunt can talk to her. She even could break bread with my sister's ex-husband, right? And he doesn't have a lot going on in his past that you would be wanting to smile about. But yet she was right there breaking bread with him on his birthday, mind you. She was there celebrating my previous brother-in-law's birthday. So you tell me, she's a regular pioneer too. So you tell me what you think about that. So, these holier than thou people, I don't even want to even talk about them. Think about this too. The Watchtower said what? Recently they said, oh, it's okay to call, previous Jehovah's Witnesses and invite them to the Kingdom Hall. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. So then we got reports from people letting us know what their experience was. The Jehovah's Witnesses were calling them on the phone, calling them to invite them out to dinner. And then, of course, they may have a long conversation. And right before they get ready to leave for the evening, oh, I would like to invite you to the hall. So that's their way of breaking those rules, hanging out with their family, talking as much as they can. Then, as long as they just say those magical words, hey, I'm inviting you to the Kingdom Hall. Now they feel exonerated that they can sit there and talk to you. Oh, it's okay now, right? Because the Watchtower will give them a bone. They give them a little something. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take advantage of this. As long as I say, come to the Kingdom Hall, after I mingle with my family member that has left the organization, I'm good to go. And so who are you fooling? Who are you fooling? So anyway, when you think about them inviting you to the Kingdom Hall, it's almost like a joke. And the reason why I'm saying this is because after the initial stages of a person being invited to the Kingdom Hall and then going to the Kingdom Hall, how are they going to be treated by these so-called Jehovah's Witnesses, brothers and sisters? How are they going to be treated after they get to the Kingdom Hall? Just picture that in your mind. Because when I was a Jehovah's Witness in what they call good standing, elder's wife, whatever you want to call my title at the time, And I went to the Kingdom Hall. Many times, I did not feel comfortable being there. I felt like I was always being judged for something. You're working full time. You're not pioneering. You're not going out in service enough. You're not doing enough for Jehovah. That's their attitude, right? So if I'm going to the Kingdom Hall as a elder's wife in good standing, I go out in service. I may get my little 10 hours in, but I'm looked at and I'm being judged on the little bit of stuff I am doing. Can you imagine how that person's going to be treated and how they're going to feel when they get to the Kingdom Hall with people and all these eyes looking at them like, ooh, there they go. They're not going to make you feel comfortable. And the reason why is because it's not a true brotherhood. It's not a true place that treats people according to who they are, because they only treat you according to how you treat the organization. If you don't have allegiance to the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society the way that they think you should, then they're going to always scrutinize everything you do. Even with the situation with the new regulations that they're given about wearing a beard, not having to wear a tie and a jacket, and of course the main one, being able to wear pants, right? Now, recently, about 3 weeks ago, they came up with this issue where, hey, look, we told y'all could wear a beard, and we told y'all that y'all could wear pants and all this kind of stuff. But now they coming back talking about, oh, we need to come back and kind of like do a little update here and tell people, I like the way y'all wearing that beard, but baby, when they said your beard is looking shabby, I don't mind you wearing pants, but I think those pants are too provocative. So it's like when I heard the brother make the point that if you were going to a function held by the government, you wouldn't wear pajamas. I got highly offended. I mean, I work for the government. And when I go to work, I would never think about putting on pajamas to go to work. So how are you going to make this analogy about somebody going to a government event in pajamas? I mean, do you really think these people are that stupid? But because you've been telling them how to walk, how to talk, how to dress all of their life, they can't even begin to know how they should look. But I look at it like this. The people at the Kingdom Hall are so tired of being told what to do. When they're finally able to do these things, they don't even know what to do. They don't know if they should dress like they're going to a baseball game or going to go clean houses, because they've been so tightly controlled all their lives. They really have never been to these functions that they're talking about, because even when they go to Bethel, they're told that they got to wear a dress and a suit and tie to Bethel. I remember this one sister that I interviewed, and she said when they went to Bethel back in the 70s, she said that her family, they wore their jean outfits and they were all matching and everything. And the looks that they gave them when they showed up was like, oh my God, because everything is always touted as being worldly. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're dressing like the world now. But then the Watchtower fails to look at the situation and realize that, are these people really dressing like the world, or is this just their culture? Because some things are cultural. Like myself being an African American, I remember back in the day, I sported an afro at one time. And so this is the hair that God gave me. And if I'm wearing an afro, does it mean that I'm worldly? I mean, if my hair grows out and I could get it into this afro, does it mean that I'm being, does it mean that I'm being worldly, or does it mean that I'm just being myself? This is who I am, And so these are the kind of things that the Watchtower fails to look at when it comes to their members. They take them for granted. They make them feel like they have somehow displeased God because of their choices and just the whole nine. And I don't even know if I made this point. I'm talking so much because I got so much to say. But let me just go back a second and double click on this other issue with my mother and my mother-in-law and what happened to our family when they passed away. Their siblings who were still practicing Jehovah's Witnesses thought that they were doing such a great thing to continue shunning us. They didn't even take a moment to just say, sorry for your loss. I mean, it was their loss too, because they lost siblings. But because these two women, my mom and my mother-in-law, they cut ties with Jehovah's Witnesses, their family members cut ties with them. And I'm going to tie this together like this. Those same people that were told that you could talk to Jehovah's Witnesses to invite them back to the kingdom home, they did that because the Watchtower told them to do that. The Watchtower gave them the green light to talk to their family members. So I do know that if my aunt and my in-laws were given the same information about being able to call their family members when they found out that their siblings passed, they would have taken the bait and they would have called us too. The same thing happened when they had the announcement about being able to wear beards and being able for women to wear pants. It's almost like Jehovah's Witnesses are waiting for someone to tell them what to do. And when you really think about it, Jehovah's Witnesses, they act as if they can't do anything aside from the Watchtower. And so at this point, the Watchtower is putting themselves in the seat of judgment. They are making themselves, they keep on trying to tell people that this is about Jehovah. And they constantly weave the name Jehovah throughout their whole presentation. Every time they say something, this is what Jehovah would like. Jehovah really appreciates that you're doing this. Jehovah this, Jehovah that. And they're just constantly weaving this thread into their narrative to tell you how you're being looked at by Jehovah. If you do it this way, you got Jehovah's blessing. If you do it that way, you don't have Jehovah's blessing. And so at that point, people, they begin to believe the lie that Watchtower tells. Because as long as the Watchtower puts God's name in it, signs God's name to this letter, forging his name to this letter, you believe that. You believe that if you do these things, then God is going to bless you. And trust me, if you do these things thinking that God is going to bless you, you do things where you're actually treating your family like crap, then you're not really a true Christian. Because Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't know what it means to do things right and wrong. They can't make decisions on their own. If the Watchtower doesn't tell them what to do, they don't know how to respond. And so that's what makes this religion so dangerous. Because if there's ever a time when a person needs to be showing Christianity or Christian love, they would not know whether or not they could do it or not because they're not given instructions by the Watchtower. So if they see somebody in need and that person is an individual that doesn't go along with Jehovah's Witnesses, then if that person needs something or do something, an act of kindness, you wouldn't be able to do it unless you could call Watchtower headquarters and ask them if it was okay. And so that's what makes this religion so dangerous. That's why we constantly tell people, do your research. We tell people, understand what you belong to. Know your history. Because the history of this religion tells it all. I mean, I don't went from A to Z on this video, but I'm just telling you, I'm going to get it together and I'm going to start doing more videos because I got a lot to say. But I just wanted to come out on this video and just get it started because this is going to be like therapy for me. This has been Lady C. I hope you got something about this video. Hit that like button and also subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I'll see you on the next episode. If you're interested in sharing your experience about how you can help others to learn life lessons without going through the experience, I look forward to hearing from you. Please send me an email to info@hiddenstruggles.com.